Yokoso Otakus, today I'm excited about a new release that is coming out on August 30th for the PC and the Switch. It is the NIS Prinny Presents Volume 3 Classics Collection, and this one includes one of my all-time favorite PlayStation 1 classics, Rhapsody, and also a tactical-based game, Pucelle Ragnarok, which it will be covered by Greenslade Gaming a little later in the video. First up is Rhapsody, so let's jump on into the story. The main character, Cornette, lives in a small village with an old puppet maker. While exploring the woods on an errand, she falls into danger and is rescued by a prince she immediately falls in love with. She participates in a contest to be the next princess, and soon after, the prince is turned to stone by a group of spicy female villains. Cornette must find a way to save the prince and travels across the world collecting magical stones to do so. The game was inspired by Disney movies and absolutely has a lot of feminine features and stereotypes. However, during the end game, there is some additions to the story and character developments that I won't spoil, but will state really added an unexpected level of depth to the game I greatly appreciated. The game features turn-based tactical grid combat. Characters utilize puppets found in the world as potential team members in battle. Most enemy encounters take place through random battles, and the system for it appears to be kind of on the fritz. At times you rarely encounter enemies, while other times you run into one almost immediately after the last. No weapons can be changed or equipped, but instead accessories are used on all characters to boost stats, reduce damage, and to improve character aspects. Battles are extremely easy, including all of the boss fights. After battles, generous portions of XP are given, and some dungeons even have special monsters which net you largely boosted amounts of experience when they are defeated. I'm looking at you, slimes in the Tower of Nine Tails. The game has a strong diversity puppets, and as it's so easy, you can create teams with any combinations that you care to use. Even if you get a new puppet in the late game, it's super easy to add them into the party and level them up to fit your team without much hassle. Healing takes place by interacting with many statues in the game, except for death, which is only reversed by paying exorbitant prices to a puppet maker, like your caretaker for some crazy reason. I haven't played the original version of the game on PlayStation since close to its release in 2000, so most of my thoughts on the game are from my recent playthrough. I was able to complete the game fully, including all the side quests and extra content, which took me a little under 18 hours. I found the pacing of the game to be fantastic and very rarely found myself frustrated or stuck, except for a few of the latter dungeons, which is really the only major complaint I had about the game. A lot of the dungeons are less dungeons and more so a series of corridors with reused graphical assets, not only in each dungeon, but oftentimes reused from dungeon to dungeon. Without any, or with very little notable markers, it made navigating very frustrating. This wasn't anything I expected to be changed in this re-release though, and there's plenty of guides and maps online you can use to make your way very quickly through them. One change I did appreciate was the option to make graphical changes via filters. In the options menu, you can choose to have the original PS1 visuals, apply a texture smoothing filter, or my personal favorite, the CRT filter, which adds scan lines to the screen and improves the overall look without modifying the textures at the cost of some screen brightness. Obviously, this wasn't a very robustly changed release from the original PS1 version, but I think this version plays well enough and absolutely allows you to experience the game smoothly. Being a music game, there's several music sequences in which you can listen in either Japanese or English. Personally, I switched to the Japanese audio very early on in the playthrough, as I found the English versions to feel more Disney-like than I had a taste for. If you absolutely love a strong Disney feeling, then there's really nothing wrong with the English audio though. Fans of hard games with brutal tactics will likely find nothing of interest in this game even when choosing the optional hard difficulty, but for anyone else, this game will likely be an absolute treat to play as a comfort RPG with lots of hidden goodies to find in the world, fourth wall breaking dialogue, and a wholesome story to enjoy at your leisure and share with your kids. In Japan, this game had 2 sequels which were never officially released in English. The end of Rhapsody teases the beginning of the next game in the series, and I really hope that at some point NIS decides to re-release those games to us, as while they are slightly different experiences, I'd love to see what the future of the Marl Kingdom has in store. With that, we're moving into Pucelle. Now, this is a game that I'm not all that familiar with, and so I wanted to bring in a very special guest, a good friend of mine, Mr. Willy Will from Greenslade Gaming. Let's see what he's got to say. Take it away, Will.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Willy Will from Greenslade Gaming, and today I am going to be doing a review for one of my favorite games of all time, Pucelle Ragnarok, aka Pucelle Tactics. It was originally released January 30th, 2002 in Japan. It is the predecessor to Disgaea, which was released 1 year later, January 30th, 2003. It has a great storyline, very humorous, but sometimes dark. It is a strategy-based game, just like Disgaea, and what most people will notice is that they took a lot of pages from Pucelle and incorporated them into Disgaea. It has beautiful graphics, anime-style characters. The main character, Prinny, has been found in Disgaea series in the later chapters after you beat the game. She is an overlord in that game with horns, but in this game right here, Pucelle, you find out how she becomes who she is. She does not start the game with horns in her overlord form, so it is very fun to play and learn how she becomes who she is. There's lots of cool enemies in this game, very nicely drawn, and you can purify them to have them become part of your party. A lot of big bosses in this game also, one being a giant like Loch Ness monster type boss. Another one is like a giant tree, which is really cool. The main three characters, which is Prinny, her brother Culotte, and Alouette, all come from the Maiden of Light Church. It has a great soundtrack. I really enjoyed listening to it, and I mean, the characters are just fantastic. My favorite characters of the enemies in this game are the little cat pirates with their butt attacks. Very, very cute. Very, very kawaii. Yeah, you'll notice a lot of the characters in this game do appear in future NIS games, specifically Disgaea, and also in like Phantom Brave and other games like that. It has a wonderful strategy type thing that they use, which is called energy lines, but it's somewhat similar to the Disgaea item world like triangle thingies. It's very similar in that, and if you line them up correctly, it demolishes the enemies on the map. Very, very fun to do. Also, each chapter has different endings. You can get a bad ending or you can get a good ending. So depending on how well you do in the game, depends on what kind of ending you'll see for each chapter, which is really fun. So it gives you a lot more replay value. It also has like an item world type aspect of the game, which is very similar to the item world in Disgaea, and you can level up and fight higher ranked demons and all that good stuff. I'm looking forward to this game big time. One of the things I'm looking forward to the most is the new chapter they put at the end of the game where Prinny and gang get to meet up with Laharl and friends. That was not in the original release, so I'm very, very excited to see that. Also, I'm hoping that they put in a feature that you can skip through the battle scenes, because sometimes the battle scenes seem like they dragged out the story and the gameplay. I know in past re-releases, NIS has done a button where you can skip through these animations in the battle, which I really hope that they do for this game. All in all, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I did play this after I played Disgaea 1, so I did notice that Disgaea took a lot from the pages of Pucelle. I really hope you guys enjoy this game as much as I did in the past, and as much as I'm going to when I get my hands on it coming up this later on this week. I will be streaming this game live on Greenslade Gaming on Twitch. If you want to come by and say what's up, we have a great community over there, and we play RPGs every Sunday night. So RPG Sundays, we will be starting this game as soon as it is released. I hope to see you guys there. Sayonara.
Hey, thanks, Will. I appreciate that. So that was Willy Will with Greenslade Gaming. Check him out over on Twitch. His Sunday streams, I'm always in there too, so you can hang out with me as well. Pucelle looks like a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to get more into it. It does look like it's a little bit more robust than what we got with the re-release of Rhapsody, but it's definitely a game I'm going to need a lot of practice with. If you guys like this content, hit the thumbs up, and if you don't like the content, hit the thumbs down. Let us know if you want to see more anime news, reviews, and gaming coverage. Hit subscribe to Yokoso Otaku. I'm Dre, and I'll catch you on the next one.